Hello, adventurers! My name is Chance, so welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for tuning into the 76th episode of our feat series. Today, we are going over a very special feat, not just in terms of mechanics and all that stuff, which is fine. Really special to me because I've always been a huge fan of using poison in D&D. Really, in most games, I've been a huge fan of poison. That being said, I don't know how I quite feel about this. I like the idea. I don't like the example too much, and I'll be talking about that a little bit later on. That being said, however, today we're going to be covering Poisoner, which was found in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And I don't know, I'm cautiously optimistic about the playstyles that will emerge from this. That being said, if you'd like to check out the full playlist with all the feats in it, please click on that little eye icon up above, or wait until the end of the video and click on one of the little end screens. In any case, let's dive right into its description here. When you make a damage roll that deals poison damage, it ignores resistance to poison damage. You can apply poison to a weapon or piece of ammunition as a bonus action instead of an action. You gain proficiency with the Poisoner's Kit if you don't already have it. Now, this is the main effects. There is a lot more to go over, however. It actually details and outlines a poison for you to use, which is pretty cool. It seems to imply that it is the poison, however, I'll talk about that a little bit more later on. So let's take a look at what they say here. With 1 hour of work using a Poisoner's Kit and expending 50 gold piece worth of materials, you can create a number of doses of potent poison equal to your proficiency bonus. Once applied to a weapon or piece of ammunition, the poison retains its potency for 1 minute or until you hit with the weapon or ammunition. When a creature takes damage from the coated weapon or ammunition, that creature must succeed on a DC 14 Constitution saving throw, or take 2d8 poison damage and become poisoned until the end of your next turn. If you're not super familiar with the poison condition, it essentially forces the creature to take disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, which can certainly be useful in terms of protecting allies or even setting up your allies for some potential big brain plays. That being said, however, this is safe to be called only an example of a type of poison you can create. It is, as far as I know, the only poison creatable by raw. I know there's a lot of examples, but I think this is the first time a poison kit poison has been actually laid out in such a manner. Personally, I always customize the heck out of my poisons. I talk it over with the DM, and there are certain spells you can use that will help you find ingredients and creatures needed. However, that being said, it is up to the dungeon master, and if this is the only poison you're allowed to make, then this is the only poison you're allowed to make. That being said, let's move on to its walkthrough here. So the way this feat's laid out is there's 4 major parts. Ignore resistance to poison. Bonus action lets you apply poison and you gain proficiency with the Poisoner's Kit. And lastly, 1 hour of work using a Poisoner's Kit and 50 gold will let you make some poison. And the number of doses is equal to your proficiency bonus. So overall, it is quite a simple feat. And personally, I don't know what's more useful. Like, the resistance to poison, or the ability to ignore resistance to poison damage, that doesn't just apply to the poison you're making, right? That applies to literally all poison-based attacks you can make, which means it also applies to the imp familiar that the warlock gets, which is really interesting. And I'm kind of assuming that based on you're the one that's making that damage roll, right? Technically. I suppose the DM could argue that the imp's the one making the damage roll, but I feel like that's kind of splitting hairs. In any case, I really like this. The ability to apply as a bonus action, of course, frees up your actual action to attack with the poisoned weapon, so that's why that's there. Proficiency with the poison kit, not a whole lot to say about that, other than the fact that you do not gain the Poisoner's Kit because of this feat, so you still have to go out and procure that or purchase it, however your DM wants to do it, before you can start to make the poison. And of course, the poison itself, which is pretty good. The DC 14 Constitution saving throw, it's relatively good early game, but might not scale quite as well, and that's why I would always allow my party members to kind of make their own poison recipes and stuff like that. Just really quick little side quests or some things you might just stumble across the way. Really cool stuff. Now let's get on to my personal thoughts. So if you can't tell, I'm a pretty big fan of poisoning in general. I find that it is often a rather overlooked component of gameplay, and because of that, I think it's interesting to take advantage of it. However, I know a lot of DMs might be relatively new to it, and a lot of players might try and use it to break the game. However, if that's what you're worried about, there's nothing to stop you from just using this feat and adhering to it rather strictly, and then eventually testing and seeing how your party interacts with it, and kind of base your assessment off there. It might also be worth noting that you can always incorporate checks, like medicine checks for example, to see how successful they are at doing something, and then kind of base everything off of that. That being said, however, I am very, very curious to see what kind of meta strategies this will lead to. In terms of what comes to mind, I think ranged individuals are going to gain a ton out of this. That being said, I mean, who knows, right? Fact of the matter is each application only really lasts for one attack, so that is a little disheartening. However, the ability to apply disadvantage is certainly nothing to be overlooked. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down beneath in the comment section. Personally, I feel like this is one of the best feats that was added into Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, but I am quite a bit biased, so maybe that's it. In any case, let me know what you think. Mention any thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns you have regarding Poisoner, as well as any build ideas, or maybe even unique poisons you've tried out throughout the years, or any recipes for potential poisons that you think might be incorporable into some people's games. In any case, let me know. And if you'd like to gain access to a free one-shot written by yours truly, feel free to check out the guild hall, links down beneath in the description. Then just select the one shot you want, use code WELCOME. It's yours free of charge, don't need to put in any credit card information or stuff like that. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and of course, happy adventuring.